taking place. I think if anybody, especially Connie Carpenter, Rebecca Twigg, if they're going to make their move, they're going to do it on the hill. Because you don't have the drafting effect as you do on the flat downhill sections.
That's quite a sight, isn't it? And this whole course is lined. As we said before, the estimate, it was very difficult to estimate how many people would watch this event. It's not like having an event in the Coliseum when you know you can have 88 to 90,000 and that's it. It's over several roads in the area. There are a lot of viewing areas. And again, as we stated during the scene set, there is no admission charge for this road cycling race. So they have come from all over. Naturally, the entire city of Mission Viejo, population about 56,000, ecstatic about having the opportunity to hold this race, to have their town so nationally and internationally prominent, at least for one day.
Boy, you can see Maria Canis really putting the hammer down going up that hill. She's known as a good climber, not too good on a flat course, which this really is, so she's got to try to break away on this hill, and you can see right now she's making everybody suffer.
One thing I think that's quite amazing about Maria Canis is that she started 2 years ago, and she's 35 years old, so when she started, she's 33 years old, relatively old to get into a sport. And in the last 2 years, she's won 5 national champions in Italy. And not only in cycling, she's been a national champion in cross-country skiing, national champion on roller skiing on the road, and national champion in hill climbing in cycling, and also national champion on the road in road cycling. So she's a really versatile athlete.
That's what you'll find in this sport oftentimes. Rarely will you be simply a cyclist. You might be concentrating on that for a particular point in your life, but normally cyclists are also very adept at other sports as well.
Well, you look at the American team. You have Connie Carpenter. In 1972, she was on the Olympic speed skating team, tried out in 1976, was injured, went into cycling. Also, you look at Inga Thompson. She was a marathon runner, had bad feet. Doctor said, why don't you try cycling? Here she is. Within 3 months of getting on a bike, she's one of the toughest women on a bike and working on the U.S. Olympic team.
That is a fascinating story as they make that turn and pick up speed.
You can see Carpenter at the front. She's a little bit nervous about this corner, as she rightly well should be, because everybody's a little bit nervous and it's a fast descent. If there's any accidents there, a lot of people could go down.
Now they're back on what I suppose you would call one of the main drags in Mission Viejo. This is Marguerite Parkway, and they will remain on this parkway now for a couple of miles.
You can see that the hill split the riders up a little bit, but this Marguerite Parkway is a gradual downhill to La Place, where they'll start going up again, and that's where the riders will be able to catch up. It's a steep climb, but then on the downhill, it's going to be a real fast downhill and easy for the riders who come off the back to catch up again.
You saw the name Connie Carpenter Finney. Her husband, Davis Finney, will be racing at 1 o'clock. He is one of the American male road cyclists, so there could be a couple of medals in Boulder.
In the same
for
family.
The Finney family this afternoon. There's Connie near the front in the women's road cycling race. We'll be right back.
Take your brother with you.
Coke is it for the big times, for the small, it's for the times you're feeling 10 feet tall. Oh, Coke is it, it's the one you grow up with, it's the real cola taste, with the lift, with the life to put a smile on your face. Coke is it, the taste that stands alone. What you find when you get where you're gone's the biggest cola taste of all. Oh, Coke is it, it's the one you grow up with. Coke is it, Coke is it, Coke.
Live again from Mission Viejo, women's road cycling, and there is the front group. Nobody has really stretched it out at this particular point as they head down Marguerite Parkway. This is the first of 5 laps. Each lap is a little less than 10 miles, so they'll go 49 miles overall today to determine the first ever women's medalists in road cycling. So let's take a look at this course in Mission Viejo from the point of view of Eric Heiden.
The course that the Olympic road riders will be using is just under 10 miles, and although one lap doesn't seem too hard, as the laps go on and the miles mount up, you're going to see the 2 climbs in this course really taking their toll. Just after the riders start, they enter Marguerite Parkway and then go through a residential district with some twisty, windy roads. And it's there, if somebody breaks away, they can get out of sight of the main field. And when you're out of sight of the main field, they forget about you. As they leave the residential district, they go up Vista del Lago, which is a 12.6% grade, and that's a steep one. At the top of Vista del Lago, it's a screaming descent to a right-hand 90-degree corner onto Marguerite Parkway. And it's that corner early in the race where we could probably expect a few accidents because riders are going to be nervous and there's going to be a lot of riders together. Marguerite Parkway is a gradual descent all the way down to La Paz Road. La Paz then is about a 2-mile climb, not too steep except near the top. Once they get to the top of La Paz, it's a left onto O'Neill. O'Neill is a rolly hill, a little bit more downhill than uphill. About a mile from the finish on O'Neill Road, the riders will be able to look off to their left and see the finish. The finish is almost on a downhill. It gets relatively flat and a little bit uphill at the actual finish, but it's going to be a screamer, and I expect to see a lot of riders in a big group finish.
Eric Heiden taking us on a point-of-view tour of the course here in Mission Viejo. We're on the first lap. We're nearing just about what would be the halfway mark of the first lap. And as expected, Connie Carpenter is right near the front. Her husband, we started to tell you before, Davis Finney, will have a good chance to win a medal, maybe the gold, in the men's road cycling competition, which will get underway this afternoon at 1 o'clock here in Mission Viejo. They'll be going over that same course, and Rebecca Twigg of the United States is right there in that lead pack.
It's important to remember that in bicycle racing, a lot of times you have mechanical difficulties, flat tires, stuff like that. And what they do is there's a neutral support, and there are 4 cars all equipped with bicycles and spare tires. So if anything happens, the riders jump off, someone will jump out of the car, hand them a brand new bike, brand new wheel, what have you, so that the rider can get right back into the race and not lose too much time.
Inga Thompson on bike 44. Eric referring to her a moment ago. It's really a fascinating story when you consider that the lady had never been in a bicycle race until earlier this year. She was a marathon runner. She'd been injured. She decided to attempt to go to the cycling world and see what she could do. And I'm sure early this season it couldn't have been a thought of making the Olympic team, but all of a sudden here you are just several months later, and very few people, I think, could ever undergo a situation where in just a matter of months you go from not even knowing the sport at all to making an Olympic team.
Well, she's an incredible athlete. She's from my hometown, Reno, Nevada, and my dad is also a racer, and he's very competitive in America. And he's trained with her, and he says that her training workouts are incredible. She'll do 5-6 hours a day with mountains, which is, a lot more than any average lady would do. Most workouts because the distance are so short in cycling, women's cycling, their longest workout will be about 3 or 4 hours, but she'll go out and she'll do 5-6 hour rides, and I think that's one of the reasons why she's made so much progress in such a short time.
The field 45, so they're all right there. As you can see, the support vehicles behind them. Nobody has broken away. The Americans are all up near the front as they make the turn now from Marguerite Parkway onto La Paz Road, and uphill they go.
This is the uphill section that Eric just described, and it's about a 2-mile section, and this is a gradual hill with it getting very steep at the end. And this is a good time for the riders to break away. You'll see an attack right now at the front. I think it's a French rider, and that's what they call a breakaway. And this is a good time to do it, is on the uphill sections.
It is Muriel Sharp who is among those moving ahead. Also, Dominique Damiani is very close to the lead. Linda Gornal of Great Britain, number 21, making her way now up the hill.
Pace looks pretty good. You can see they're riding in their big chain ring, so that gradual uphill isn't doing too much to them.
The French rider with her is Dominique Damiani from France.
So there they are heading up La Paz Road.
Rebecca Twigg in 3rd spot.
Right. All of the Americans appear to be in comfortable position, though nobody is out of the race by any stretch of the imagination, even the rider running in 45th and final position at the moment. So there is the entire field as we are about 2/3 of the way through the first of 5 laps in the women's road cycling final from Mission Viejo. We'll be back.
Long popular in the Middle East, camel racing never caught on as an Olympic event. Nevertheless, crowds cheered when camels were on display at the 1920 Games in Antwerp.
I must have 4 or 5 insurance policies. But I know I don't have a clear insurance plan.
For years, Allstate has made it easy to come in and talk and get your insurance needs worked out. That set the tone for the way the whole Sears Financial Network does business. Straightforward and down to earth. Visit a Sears Financial Network center or any Allstate office. The Sears Financial Network. Trust us to make it work for you.
Here's New L.A., brewed for all the great taste you've come to expect from Anheuser-Busch.
You've shaped this world and changed it, made it better, rearranged it, in the way you think and what you drink and everything you do.
Taste L.A. for smoothness, drinkability, and just half the alcohol of our regular beers.
For the way you live your life today.
For the way you live today, L.A. For the way you live, L.A.
Taste it.
John, we're impressed with your deferred compensation.
Your disability income and your pension plans.
However, Northwestern Mutual can tailor better business programs for our executives.
You're going with the quiet company?
We are.
Check, please.
Our customized business plans. Another leadership innovation available only from agents with Northwestern Mutual Life, the quiet company.
They're a tough act to follow.
I know. I know.
Feel like you're part of the Olympic action. Play McDonald's. When the U.S. wins, you win Olympic game.
What's your event? Women's freestyle relay. If the U.S. wins, then I win.
When the U.S. wins a medal in the event on your game card, you win a Big Mac. Or regular fries. Or regular Coca-Cola. Or win up to $10,000 instantly. So go to McDonald's and collect your game cards. Because when the U.S. wins, you win.
Let's go, USA! Let's go, USA! Let's go!
Next week on ABC, a special daytime schedule.
The 1984 Summer Olympics, plus all the romance of All My Children. Share summer love with Jenny and Greg. All the forbidden passion of One Life to Live.
I won't let anything come between us.
Cassie's defying her mother for the man she loves. And all the hot summer fun of General Hospital. Starting at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, and 11 Pacific, right after the morning Olympics.